Habrás oído muchas veces que los videojuegos te fríen el cerebro. Pero ¿y si fuera al revés? ¿Y si se pudieran usar videojuegos para aumentar tus capacidades mentales? Adam Gazzaley es médico y neurocientífico y el director y fundador de un laboratorio en la Universidad de California en San Francisco llamado Neuroscape. Aquí se están desarrollando videojuegos para aumentar las capacidades mentales, especialmente en personas que tienen dificultades cognitivas. No se trata de una consola de videojuegos normal, ya que tienes que jugar conectado a electrodos que miden la actividad de tu cerebro y adaptan el juego para que haya un cambio real en las conexiones de tus neuronas. Neuroscape tiene la patente del primer videojuego clasificado como medicamento en Estados Unidos para el tratamiento del TDAH. Además, están investigando cómo guiar las experiencias psicodélicas para el tratamiento de enfermedades mentales usando ordenadores y juegos. No te pierdas la entrevista con Adam Gazzaley. What about all these studies coming up about cognitive surrender and the effect that AI is having on people who no longer need to use those cognitive capacities for their everyday life? It seems to be counteracting what you said about promoting cognitive abilities
Yeah.
with technology. It's actually technology doing our thinking for us.
Yeah, I think the cognitive offloading effects of AI is a very real concern and one that we need to pause and really consider deeply. Um, we use technology to offload things that we're not good at all the time. And that's maybe one of the main reasons we create technology. We create cars to go faster than we can walk and on, and computers can do processing that we're not capable of. But when we start infringing upon things that we do quite well, even things that maybe define us, our creativity, our reasoning and decision making, I think we're on a slippery slope to lose a lot of what we value most about being human. So I do worry about it. I worry about it especially in the context of children. I have young children who are developing these skills, and to see, how it's going to impact them is something that I do worry about.
Video games have become very sophisticated these days. They have very elaborate stories, storylines, characters. How are therapeutical video games, medical video games, different from mainstream video games that have become so
Yeah.
amazingly complex?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first point that's important to raise when thinking about video games as good or bad is that they're neither. And none of the technologies created are inherently good or bad. Nuclear reactions could lead to bombs or energy. Even molecular technology, the medicines we create, in some doses are medicine and some doses are poison. And same thing with our information technologies. They're not good or bad. It depends on how we use them, our intentionality, the context, the amount of time. And video games are a powerful experience, and experience is the driving force of our brain's plasticity. And so it's not surprising that a video game can influence how your brain works. And there's lots of data that shows even entertainment video games, even some of the most controversial video games, like first-person shooter games, can have cognitive benefits on the players that engage with them. So I was very attracted to the idea of a video game as a way of delivering enhancement technologies to improve cognition, because people do engage in them deeply, they enjoy them, they come back for them, and those are critical elements to improve cognition. So we developed a video game that's now approved by the FDA as a medical treatment for ADHD. And in many ways, it's not different than any other video game. It was designed by programmers who work with artists and musicians and storytellers. And granted, it was designed to improve attention, and it was studied extensively in trials to show that it does improve attention. But in many ways, it's a video game, and that's what I like most about it. Where it differs from video games is in a couple of aspects. One, from commercial video games. One is that it uses a closed loop design principle, which is sort of our guiding light of building cognitive video games. And what that means is that every single moment, actually multiple times a moment, multiple times a second, the game is reading out your performance metrics and then challenging and rewarding you in a personalized way. So it meets you where you are, and it changes changes with you as your brain plasticity improves your function, thus acting like a very high level personal trainer. The other aspect is
Is
that it
this
was,
related to biofeedback and the way it was being used all
yeah, I
those
mean,
years?
biofeedback is a general term that applies to this. We call it closed loop systems, but it's the same idea. It's real time data guiding the interactive experience, and it was also designed with an understanding about attention systems and cognition. So both the challenges and the rewards were designed to enhance cognition, not only to entertain. And then we bring the entertainment elements on to lead to better depth of engagement. So, and then we do research studies to figure out what's good about it, what's not good about it. And so, in many ways, we created a video game that's very similar to other video games. And in other ways, we've advanced the pathway of video games beyond art, which is where I do consider it living now, into medicine.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for now, and I guess that a lot of people would object that, okay, but you can have those experiences in real life and have those experiences modulated by another human being who can guide you through the learning process and the improving of your cognitive skills. So how is this better
Yeah.
than the
Yeah.
real life experience?
Yeah, I mean, all of our work is inspired by real life experience. And for thousands of years, experience has been a form of mental health treatment, like meditation and mindfulness practice. The challenges of those experiences as being medicine are multiple. And that's the main reason I feel that they have been marginalized as alternative and not mainstream medicine. And so having a human driven experience, a human led experience, is not accessible to everyone. Not everyone is surrounded or lives in a place that has access to experts. They're not always reproducible. Humans give very different experiences. There's all sorts of varying quality. So you're not delivering an experience that's consistent with human led experts. And the other problem is it's very hard to do randomized controlled trials under those circumstances. So it's hard to bring these treatments to regulatory approval, which is why none of them are. And so I love human-led experiences. I hope that people have access to it and can participate in it. But in terms of scaling a medicine, these are like really fundamental challenges. And so when you take an experience that exists in the real world, like meditation, mindfulness, music, dance, physical exercise, and bring them into a closed loop design and deliver them through technology, now you have the ability to monitor them, to make them more accessible to people, to do randomized controlled trials on them and to show that they have benefits. These are the advantages. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have real world experiences, but we need to have medicine that has become mainstream, that is not just taking a pill to help with our ailing minds. And this gives us that opportunity.
Psychedelic experiences are what Terence McKenna used to call peak experiences. They can be also replicated by meditating or climbing a mountain or listening to classical music, but they are induced in a way that you can't really escape from them. But you also mentioned that they are in a way rudderless. You don't know where it's going to go. So how do you intend to rein in those peak experiences that psychedelics can bring and make them go into the right direction for the people who need them?
Yeah, I've been excited about the clinical and scientific literature, especially over the last decade, showing that psychedelics can have a positive effect and often a safe effect on people suffering conditions as diverse as post-traumatic stress disorder, major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, even addiction itself. The challenge that I see is that these compounds create these very powerful experiences that could be negative, could be positive. They can't really be controlled molecularly once the pill is taken or the substance is ingested or the injection is made. You don't change the dose to change the outcomes. But one way that we believe you could change outcomes, there's a high degree of consensus in the field, although we're doing that research now, is through the contextual elements of the experience. So what do you see, hear, smell, and feel? Are you in a safe environment? Is there music that's elevating you? And I'm very interested in how what's known in the field as set and setting can be studied and designed in a personalized way using technology to deliver it, as I do with other medicines, to lead to more safe, more effective outcomes from psychedelic treatments. That is my goal, to make it more controllable so that we are getting positive benefits more frequently, also allowing us to scale it more rapidly.
How do you see the approval process of all these technologies and treatments in the case of the European Union? Is there a path for Europeans to have access to them?
Yeah, that path is global. It's in European Union, it's in the US, it's in Asia. I travel to all these places telling this story that technology can be used to enhance us and help our mental health and not diminish it. But it's a long road because you don't only need to build it, you need to study it, you need to get it approved, and you need to get it paid for. And I think that the field globally is right now at the stage of like, how does this get paid for? Will insurance reimburse this? Will people not have to pay out of pocket for it? Which is critical to get treatments to people in need that don't have lots of money. And so that's sort of the global stage that the world is in with digital treatments for mental health is that. But that's changing. We're just in the US, it just changed dramatically by CMS, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, having reimbursement codes for digital mental health treatment, and it's changing in other countries as well. So once it can get to people in an affordable way, and it's been studied and regulated, we start seeing its benefits outside of clinical trials because people are using it, then young entrepreneurs and scientists start seeing like, oh, this is a real field. And then we have more creativity, and then the field grows. So, I've been doing this for 18 years myself, and, we're ready to get this into the world. And I think we're just at that stage right now.